I got you guys. That's right. It's your boy here again, Dean. And yeah, that first video, I guess it didn't have audio, but I'm looking at the OBS right now and it's definitely recording. So, the first video was, hey, it was me saying I'm going to bring Ladica to BCS and I was supposed to upload it immediately after. Back then, I wasn't 100% certain, and testing Ladica has felt insanely good. And you know what? Your boy got top 8 again. So, once again, though, did not get first, did not even get top 4. Dreams were squashed by first place when they got the run back. They went from 0-1 into 9-1. I'd say congratulations, but it fucking hurts my soul. It really hurts my soul, but it's okay. I guess there's Toronto, I think. I don't know. But yeah, Ladica, this is the deck that I wanted to bring. I think this was the best deck of the format for a good player who understands the lines, can, navigate the matchups, and I did my best to prove it. Man, that best of one fucking sucks, though. The best of one sucks, and sometimes you get high rolled by mono. But I beat. It's 2-1 against mono, and you know what? I was 1-1 against the person who got first. So the deck is pretty good. We're gonna go over the deck real quick, and talk about it, and I want to explain the cards I didn't include and some of the things I tested and why I don't like them. We're not going to really talk too much about the core. So we got the Naturas, we got the Cook, we got this guy. I mean, you're always on these. Feral Aether. Okay, so Fertile Aether. We're going to talk about this for a second because I was asking, hey, you play this dog shit card? I don't know who you do. You don't play this card? Yeah, you need this card. It heals 2, which is big, and if you have combo 3, you get 2 trees. Otherwise, it makes 1. You try to not play this just for 1 tree because that sounds awful. 1 tree without a body, you can't bounce it back. Sounds bad. You don't want to be doing that. But what you do want is in your mid game when you're forced to move up trees, it helps you get that combo and then you get your trees back. Namely, let's say you can't Ladica on 5 and you have to Ladica on 6. It usually means you have an extra mana to play with that otherwise you wouldn't have. So on your combo 4, you can play this down so that not only have you moved up 2 trees, but now you've regenerated your trees so that you're able to actually do a follow-up primal giant away the trees you played. And then on top of that, still have the trees in the back row to move up for the Ladica, right? So this is really just the thing that helps you keep that pressure going in the mid game. Heals you. The heal is big. Sometimes, you just need a little bit extra health to help mitigate the incoming damage because there are going to be turns that you're going to be using to fix your hand and to set up your board. Usually more your hand than your board. But you're going to be setting up your hand to be in the position you need to actually win the game. And this is a little bit extra heal and a little bit extra setup because you're going to be sacking some trees for the Wispy Woods and all that. This part's important. This is why Ladica is not a sack deck. I don't like people calling it high roll deck. It's not a high roll deck. As long as you're on 3 of each bounce back between the Ancient Elf and the Nature's Guidance, these cards are very important for the deck because too often it's you have a hand of a Ladica and a single generator and you just need 1 or 2 turns, right? You got the Desert Pathfinder. And you just need that beginning startup of I drop down a colorful cook. I pick up the colorful cook. I put it back down. Now we're in a good spot. We have 3 Naturas on board. And that means that our Desert Pathfinder is going to be able to start finding us cards. And then after we put down our Desert Pathfinder, we can pick him back up. And then after we put him back down again, we've seen 6 additional cards on top of our deck. And we're getting ourselves to our Ladica where it needs to be. Desert Pathfinder, of course, is also huge because then you can put the tree in the front row and you don't have to waste a mana on it so that your Ghastly Tree can heal you, dig you deeper, and fix your hand. This guy kind of sucks. He's for some combo plays that I don't think are very good. It's just, this is your worst tree generator in the entire deck. Trail of Light, obviously. This card, yeah, you're on 3. Hey, look, it's Ladica. The 2 worst cards in the deck. We got one of Suzuka, one of Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia betrayed me, by the way. Look forward to the tournament report on that one. These cards are not good. I know a lot of people, they're Ladica players that say, oh, you need 3 Cassiopeias. No flack if you're one of them. But yeah, I'm sorry, that's wrong. The reason is that The Japanese list had one. I wanted to cut this. I tried so hard to find a different card, and at the end of the day, I said I can Primal Giant this back. If like my back is to the wall, I can Primal Giant this back. I can't have other cards. These are the only 2 slots that aren't completely maxed out on cards that we want, and they're Primal Giant targets. That's pretty much it. If these are in your opening hand, you mulligan immediately. These cards are unfucking playable. So the reason is, so the Suzuka is not just 4 damage. It's like a 4 damage. They both have the same problem, but for different reasons. Suzuka is very easy to remove. Very minimal effort for your opponent. The Evo is extremely costly, so unless it's sealing the game, you just don't want to be putting it on the board. And, the Cassiopeia is like an even worse problem, because instead of just sticking damage, it's to clear your opponent's board. But the problem is that just clearing your opponent's board 95% of the time, it came up in Top Cut, but 95% of the time, this card is not good enough. Because if, like, let's say you clear your opponent's board, right? Like on turn 5, you clear your opponent's board because that means that they were in a position that you need to clear their board. It usually means they're a deck that generates a lot of board pressure. It's usually not like if you fight someone and they build a board on 4 that you need to immediately answer with the Cassiopeia on 5, chances are they're going to be able to build a board on 5. And if you weren't able to Ladica them on 5, it's like their board is now bigger because they have more mana to be able to invest into it. And your hand's not better, right? Like you just Cassiopeia, you got 1 draw on the following turn. You're not closer to getting this combo off. You're not closer to getting anything. The only thing you did was you spent 5 mana on is this thing a 4/5, right? 4/5 body. 4/5 is so easy to remove. Everything in the game removes it. It's not a good body. It's just a card. It came down. It wiped your opponent's board. It's a slightly better Themis. So you know Themis' problem where you like Themis the board and you're like, well, now I don't have anything going on. You're not really generating board pressure until you're like Ladica and like later turns half of the time. It's like you might have like this guy on the board. You might have a Desert Pathfinder. Yeah, this card just like resetting the neutral like game state. It's not good enough. It just I would rather be either Ladicaing or getting my hand into position to Ladica multiple turns in a row. And if I'm not doing one of those, I feel like I'm just wasting my time. There's 3 Primal Giants, and of course the Evo deck is just 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1. So I've went over why I don't like Cassiopeia. I went over why I don't like Suzuka. And ultimately, that is the problem with the deck. If there is a problem, it is hard to put tech cards in. Every time I would test something, if it would be Cetus, whether it be like any of the Mark of the 6, any random card I put in the deck, I can't put in high enough counts without hurting the consistency of the engine. Because the second you start like taking away cards from this, it becomes harder to like continuously dig, right? Every dead card in your hand you feel. I tried going to 41 cards, but the math on that doesn't matter. I tried going like Gold City because I wanted to test Gold City as a Primal Giant target because in my thought you could Primal Giant, Gold City, Ladica because you get the 3 mana. Gold City is a card if there's 8 total cards on the board. It has Storm, Fanfare. It recovers 3 play points. It's a 4 mana 3/3. So the idea is that you can Primal Giant out a board that has stuck. Gold City, so the Primal Giant costs 2. Then we get to play Ladica, and then we get to do some tree stuff, and then we get to kill our opponent because that's a push for 10. And 10 plus 7 plus 3 because now I've got Primal Giant plus Ladica plus the Gold City. It's like I only need the Gold City to live, and that's 20. Yeah, that shit was fucking that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. We play tested it some. I could never like sometimes it's like my opponent have a bad game. They don't have 3 cards on board. They have a ward, so I have to Ladica anyway. The Gold City doesn't get Storm. But the more important thing about that was there was like times, and especially like in testing before this, where I would see like Gold City plus Suzuka in hand, and the hand's suddenly unplayable. It's like actually unplayable, and I have to like move up a tree for the sole purpose of filtering because these 2 cards being in my hand at the same time was something that the deck couldn't sustain. So the same problem comes up if we try to include Cetus, if we try to include Maisha, if we try to include multiple Cassiopeias. It's I already have hand configurations that aren't the best, but they can get me there as long as I am maxed out and as condensed as possible on the good cards. But yeah, so this is it. This was my deck. I don't want to talk about it too much longer. Deck is good. It was very good. I know we're already getting ready for another format. I hear that Ladica could still do okay in the next format, but you know, the way this game moves, it's probably unplayable, let's be honest. But if you like this video, hit that like button. We're going to be having the set reviews coming out soon, and I have another video cooking in my head. And until next time, it's your boy Dean signing out.